Good morning, Gregory. Hi, I'm Noah Shannon.
And I'm Colin Yushui. Today is Friday, March 23rd.
Today on LNN, we look at a story of a Gregory varsity player.
And Noah Shannon brings you more on a family's big trip.
All this and more on today's LNN. A Gregory High School player shares his most memorable varsity football game. Colin Yushui brings you more on the take.
Football is my favorite sport. I've been playing football for 8 years now, and probably one of the most memorable games has to be my first varsity football game against Golden Valley. The game was really exciting, especially the first time coming out of the tunnel. It was really great to see all the fans and all the students. Some of my favorite things that happened that game was I was at linebacker, and some kid tried to go out for a pass in the flats, and I just rocked him. So that was pretty fun, And we really killed the team, like we murdered them. I feel like that was the best part of it all.
Definitely the most memorable game was me and Christian's first varsity game. I remember walking out the tunnel with him. That was definitely one of my best memories. My favorite play was I went out for a screen pass and Christian was lead blocking for me. That was really cool. And then obviously in the game was one of the best parts.
As a reminder, AP tests are still on sale throughout the SBO and online. They cost $94 and you must order by the 14th.
Fundraising boxes for Pennies for Patients will be picked up on Monday from first period classrooms. Monday is the last day to donate, and the first period with the most donations will receive a donut party.
Last week, Noah interviewed 2 of his family members about their big move from Southern California to Northern California.
About 20 years ago, we moved from Southern California to Northern California. It was me, my husband James, and our 6-year-old son David. Well, we decided to move here because I felt it was safer environment for us to live in and for David to go to a school at. It seemed like we could never get away from violence. You just hear about somebody being killed and somebody being harassed or drive-by shootings, and even though we didn't live in the center of all that, it just seemed like you could never get away from that. So for example, one day, I was done with my college classes and we went to go get gas, me and David and my husband James. And just when we were getting gasoline, we were being harassed by this group of young Mexican kids that were asking us what we were doing in that neighborhood. And we lived in the neighborhood. And I didn't want David to live in that environment. And I felt like if he went to school that he would just become a gangbanger or something. And the reason we chose Modesto is because my mom and dad and all my sisters lived here. And so I told my sister to find a good apartment for me, and we moved and we came to our apartment, and it was so hot. It was July, and it was so hot in Modesto. It was 100 degrees or something. We had our hamster and our fish. Our apartment wasn't even ready. And so anyway, the people were so nice and they put us in a corporate apartment. It was so exciting to move to a new town.
We moved up there to be closer to my mom's family, so I get to see them more often. And I'd only met them once before. We took an airplane. That was my first and probably only time on an airplane, besides the way back. I remember packing up our little U-Haul, and we were all 3 of us were crammed in the cab. Well, I guess we weren't crammed in there. I was a little kid, but I feel like we were crammed in there. We had all the stuff behind us. And we had our fish tank full of water with the fish in it in the trunk of the car. We got here. I think we got here at night, and it was still pretty hot. It was really hot the next day, and we had to stay in it was like a party suite, guest suite, or something, because our.
Thanks, Noah.
Well, that's it for today's LNN. I'm Noah Shannon.
And I'm Colin Yushui.
See you next week.